Hi, my name is Tina Surton. Shortly after the May 5th, 2020 vote on the land purchase, I shared by video why I voted against the purchase of the land. Timing, price, some questions on the appraisal that were not answered, and violation of public trust. This tax initiative was promoted as a 12-year funding stream to refresh and renovate existing schools, the backlog of repairs of AC roofs, as well as being able to renovate and upgrade, bring existing school buildings up to today's standards was just too much, given that the state PICO dollars had been eliminated for public schools, and there was a decrease of the local capital mill from 2 mills down to 1.5 mills. Citizens of Alachua County heard the cry for help and overwhelmingly approved the half-cent sales tax initiative on November 6, 2018. Thank you. So I've been asked, Tina, why is it that you continue to look at this transaction? And I told them, when I asked simple questions, responses were either evasive, indirect, or they kept changing. So I kept looking. What I found was unsettling. And if I was a professional auditor, I would be expanding my testing and document examination to other transactions now. I'll focus on what I believe is a violation of 6324. There were many improprieties, but I'll focus on that one in here. That policy deals with the cone of silence. Policy states that when a bid opens, communication between the bidder and district staff is prohibited until the award is approved by the board. Well, for RFQ 1920, this letter states here that the cone of silence starts on November 9th, 2018, and it goes all the way through to July 23rd, 2019. That's when the item was brought for board approval as part of the consent agenda. It was item G8. There are communication can be had with Ms. Suzanne Nguyen, who is the Director of Community Planning, with the District Attorney, Mr. Brian Moore, or with School Board Attorney, Mr. David Delaney. And I would suspect that all communication would be around this RFQ. What I found when I was examining several of these documents that are over here in the panel is that there was a lot of communication between district staff, not just Ms. Nguyen, but other district staff members, and the realtor group of Drodos, Riles, and Casso. And that communication was not around the bid process. It was around negotiations and talking price and things like that of the land. Processes and rules are important. They're put in place for a reason. And many of these processes and rules and policies are part of the internal control system of the district around the procurement process. And it's really important that staff follows those rules. Those rules are put in place so that the district will not be subject to fraud and waste of taxpayer dollars, as well as unnecessary purchasing, so that bidders will not feel that one is getting an advantage over another. So I felt that process from the documents that I examined had been violated. I also noticed that staff didn't always provide school board members with an accurate and complete information when they made the recommendation. As a board member, I'm one of 5 who's charged with oversight of the district operations. I want to trust the work and recommendations from staff, but verifying is not out of bounds for me. I say that because we're in year 2 of a 12-year tax initiative, and trust is important. Prevention of fraud and waste of taxpayer dollars is important. It's important that we maintain public trust because these tax initiatives have to be renewed. We've been told that this initial 12-year period will not raise enough money to cover all of the repairs and renovations and things like that are needed. So we need to ensure the public that we're spending the dollars as promised. So I've discussed one of the improprieties that I thought that I found to happen, and I plan to recommend some remedies. One, policy 6324 states that if a bidder violates the cone of silence and they win the award, that award or contract can be canceled. And that is my recommendation, that the 3-year contract that was awarded to Collier Internationals be canceled. That same policy also states that district staff that violates the policy could be disciplined or dismissed. That's the superintendent's choice as to which path she takes, but I think some action does need to happen. And I think new policies and procedures to ensure robust oversight by the independent sales tax oversight committee need to be implemented. More frequent meetings, as well as them knowing about projects and project timelines, as well as possibly the members of the sales tax oversight committee also serving on the interview or review of the bids that are submitted or submitted. So if you have questions or concerns, you can leave them in the comment section. I'll post a link to the document so that you can review those. And I say that you can stay tuned because there is indeed more to share.